What's up? I'm Chef Nyesha Arrington, here today with Cook With Us with Well+Good. And I'm going to show you how to make one of my all-time favorite snacks, brunch items, dinner. This is great at any time of the day or night. An avocado toast. But what makes this special is our amazing tomato jam. Yes, you heard me correctly, tomato jam. It's both sweet and savory and just a little spicy, like me. When I approach a dish, it's very important to start with what takes the longest. And today that's going to be our tomato jam. So this jam starts with a little bit of onion. And what I wanna do is cut this onion down and begin to sweat. We do not wanna get color on this onion. A lot of our caramelized flavors are gonna come from agave. We're gonna start with our olive oil and allow our onions to sweat. I'm gonna add some flavor by the way of ginger. I love the spiciness that this ginger adds to this tomato jam. Super delicious, and it plays really nicely against the cumin. In our pan, we have olive oil, we have ginger, and we have onions, and just a little pinch of Himalayan sea salt to help draw out the liquid in our aromatics. Next step is tomato paste. Whenever I use tomatoes in a cooking process, I love to use tomato paste. What that does is really concentrate that tomato flavor. So you always wanna make sure that you cook your tomato paste. I find that that's always a common mistake when people use tomato paste is they don't cook the tomato paste enough. Your oil will turn bright orange, and you'll smell this sort of roasted tomato paste flavor. It can burn very easily, so you definitely want to spend your time and make sure that you're keeping your eye on this part of the recipe. And it's gonna give us a very beautiful, deep flavor of tomato in our jam. Next, we add ground cumin, and I just wanna lightly toast these spices a bit. A little bit of cayenne pepper, just for a pop of heat. Next, we're going to deglaze with a bit of apple cider vinegar, which I love. I'm a big apple cider vinegar person. To add another layer and depth of flavor in our jam, I love to use Fresno chilies, which have a way of being not too spicy, tons of flavor. And just to kind of control the spice, I actually take the ribs out of the chili as well as the seeds. And if you like super spicy, totally leave the ribs and the seeds in. So we give it a nice little julienne. And then we just run the knife the opposite direction to create a nice tiny dice. And again, whenever we're working with chilies, once you cut your chili, wash your cutting board so that the rest of your dish doesn't taste like chili, and definitely do not rub your eyes because then you'll be crying. And you can also use gloves as a precaution. So now that we have our onion sweat, our tomato paste is beautifully caramelized, chilies are gonna add that nice pop of heat. We are going to add some agave, which we're going to caramelize with the tomatoes, and that's gonna give us a lot of the body and structure of our tomato jam. So we're gonna allow these ingredients to cook together and prepare our tomatoes. For the next step, we are going to deseed our tomatoes. So we achieve that by taking the core out of our tomato, and I just run the tip of my knife in the tomato core and pull that out. And for the tomatoes, I'm just going to simply cut in half, and we don't have to be like over worrying about tomato seeds. We just want to pull some of the tomato seeds out because sometimes they can get a little bit bitter. You can use a spoon and kind of just coax some of those tomato seeds out. You can actually save this, strain it out, and keep the tomato water, which is super delicious. This is the fun part. You know, feel free to get your hands dirty. We're cooking food here. Just kind of squeeze the seeds out. Do not discard this delicious tomato water. Strain it out, throw it in a nice cube tray, forget about it, remember it weeks later, and you say, oh, I have this delicious tomato water to use in your recipe that you're creating. If you want to get really fancy, you can blanch your tomatoes and take the skin off. Nowadays, I just try to make it as simple as possible, and I'm leaving the skin on today. The skin is not going to bother me and impede on my delicious tomato jam. And again, this is going to cook down, so don't worry about the knife cuts being too perfect, and if you get some seeds in there, no worries at all. So we really just want to basically break the tomatoes down. Now that we've added our tomatoes, I'm going to continue to layer in the salt, which is super important. It smells absolutely phenomenal in here. So we're going to fold all of these beautiful ingredients together, and while this cooks down, we can prepare our crushed avocado. For our crushed avocado, we want to look for an avocado that has some give to it because we're looking for a delicious, smooth, creamy mouthfeel and texture. So this avocado, I've actually cut in half, and just gonna scoop the center of the avocado out. And I don't want to manipulate the flavor of this avocado too much. I really just want to enhance it by adding some bright acid by the way of lemon juice. And that's going to echo the acidity coming off of the tomatoes and that beautiful apple cider vinegar in our tomato jam. I love to add a little bit of spice, so I'm going to use just a pinch of cayenne pepper. Definitely my beloved Himalayan sea salt. And some olive oil. That's just to sort of play against the natural richness of the avocados. You can totally use avocado oil. When I make avocado toast, I'm not trying to create guacamole, right? We do not want this to be really smooth. We want this to have some texture to it so we know what we're eating. So you literally just smash this lightly, and when you're using a ripe avocado, you don't have to do much to this. And then just a little bit of brightness from the lemon juice to play against the lemon zest as well. Slightly fold these together. Yum. I mean, I could eat this just like this. Okay, crushed avocado is finished. Tomato jam is working. Let's get the base, our toast, working. I like to use an organic bread, and organic in general when possible, right? So today I'm using a ciabatta. I'll save the ends, throw it in the freezer, save it for breadcrumbs later. So I'll place this bread on a sheet pan. I'm going to pop these in the oven about 375 for a good 15-20 minutes, and then rotate, and then an additional 10 minutes. So we have our toast, we have our delicious crushed avocado, and of course we have our amazing star of the show, the tomato jam. This has been simmering away. It's thick and it tastes fantastic. Now, let's slice some peaches because this avocado toast was not special enough. We're gonna add amazing peaches to them. And we want peaches that have a little give to them. I'm going to slice my peaches with this knife, really thin, because I have this vision to create like a fan on my avocado toast. I first start with avocado. So use the back of a fork and just kind of lightly crush the avocado so it sticks into the toast. Yum. Place a little tomato jam down the middle. And I like to garnish this with some peach slices. Big fan of sweet and savory. I love sweet and savory applications. Today I'm gonna use a little bit of radish sprout to add a bit of pepperiness. And I like to finish this with some good olive oil. And a little bit of black pepper, some salt, just to really bring everything together. And of course, some lemon zest. We have here our amazing California vibes summery avocado toast. We finished it, our avocado toast in all its glory. Delicious tomato jam, crushed avocado, fresh, beautiful peaches, and of course, my favorite part, the tasting. That's what is so important about having crunchy, crusty bread. It plays so nicely against the soft, beautiful, robust flavors of the tomato jam, the avocado, that beautiful pepperiness coming from the radish sprout. It's fun, simple, and very seasonal. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in the kitchen today here on Cook With Us with Well+Good. And for more delicious recipes, follow the link below and follow along with the journey.